Pakistan's political and strategic significance for Iran began with Pakistan's emergence as an independent state following the Partition of India in 1947. The Shah of Iran, Mohammad Reza Pahlavi, was the first head of state to pay a state visit to Pakistan in March 1950, and in the same month a treaty of friendship was signed. But conflicting national security interests and the influence of wider competing powers have always played an important factor in shaping the Iran-Pakistan relationship, especially after the Iranian Revolution of 1979. I'm Kasim, this is KJ Vids, and in this video we will look into the relationship between Iran and Pakistan. The Anglo-American alliance through much of the Cold War years laid the foundation for a positive Iran-Pakistan relationship. The shared antipathy to the Soviet intervention in Afghanistan binded the two states. The Central Treaty Organization, or CENTO, which originally was known as the Baghdad Pact, was formed in 1955 by Iran, Iraq, Pakistan, Turkey and the United Kingdom. Its goal was to contain the Soviet Union by having a line of strong states along the USSR's southwestern frontier. During the 60s, both Iran and Pakistan sought broader and deeper relations with the Arab states. The Shah's implicit objective for engaging the Arab states was to counter the growing power and ambitions of Arab revolutionary leaders in the Persian Gulf. For Pakistan, closeness with Arab states was aimed at securing support against India. But by the 1970s, both Iran and Pakistan were struggling to ensure their security. In the early part of the decade, Iran began to expand its activity and presence in the Persian Gulf, whereas this period marked contraction of power and status of Pakistan in South Asia. Pakistan was in search of its security and started to expand its relations with West Asian countries. After Britain's withdrawal from east of Suez before the end of 1971, Persian Gulf created a power vacuum that was gradually filled by the United States. Iran moved from being in the periphery to the core of the US strategic calculus in ensuring security for the Persian Gulf. But the Indo-Pakistan Wars of 1965 and 1971 led the Shah to conclude that its allies and their security commitments were unreliable and had diminished the value of CENTO. The wars reinforced a desire for self-reliance and confirmed the Shah's belief that the military might was its most important component. The breakup of Pakistan in December 1971 convinced Iran that its eastern flank should be stable and its territorial integrity should be maintained. The events of December 1971 brought significant perceptual changes in Tehran's ruling elite and among Arab states regarding Pakistan. Iran was affected because Pakistan was an immediate non-Arab Muslim neighbour. Two major developments, the 1979 Islamic Revolution in Iran and the Soviet intervention in Afghanistan, brought substantial changes in Iran-Pakistan relations. The Soviet intervention in Afghanistan brought about a strategic relationship between Pakistan and the US due to Pakistan's proximity to Afghanistan, but the 1979 revolution led to a decline of US-Iranian relations. Following the Soviet military withdrawal, Afghanistan emerged as a bone of contention between Iran and Pakistan over their respective influence and national priorities. Throughout the 1990s, Iran had been pursuing policies to increase its influence in Afghanistan. Political, economic, ethnic, cultural and ideological instruments were employed by Iran to increase and strengthen its position in Afghanistan and in the Central Asian region. Iran was keen that all ethnic groups be represented in the new government in Afghanistan, especially the Hazara Shias, who were major beneficiaries of Iranian assistance during the Soviet intervention. In contrast, Pakistan, along with the US and Saudi Arabia, had supported the Taliban. The installation of the Pashtun-dominated Taliban government in Afghanistan did not go down well in Tehran. With the end of the Cold War, an entirely new environment in the Gulf dominated by the US emerged, giving shape to a new pattern of behavior between the two countries. The disintegration of the Soviet Union in 1991 led to structural changes in the international system, and the effects were felt on the Iranian-Pakistan relationship. With the establishment of the Taliban government in Afghanistan, Iran-Pakistan relations began to deteriorate and a climate of mistrust emerged. Pakistan's long-desired goal of gaining strategic depth was sought to be attained through a favourable Taliban government in Afghanistan. At the same time, Iran was competing to increase its influence in Central Asia. Both countries had been struggling to increase their influence in Afghanistan and Central Asia. Pakistan's motive was to enhance its role and influence in the region, while Iran's main motive was to ensure its security, enhance its political and economic influence, and break its isolation. Iran did not like a regime in Kabul that would be friendly to its regional competitor Saudi Arabia. Pakistan, on the other hand, has a regional posture which is Indian-centric and hence seeks strategic depth in Afghanistan. India on several occasions has had a policy of encircling and isolating Pakistan regionally and internationally. This is partly why India has substantially increased its influence in Afghanistan, and it has recently too started stepping up its engagement with Iran. These conflicting interests have led to a rocky relationship between Pakistan and Iran, and the tensions have come to the forefront in recent years. In 2016, Iran-Pakistan ties took a dramatic turn with the arrest of Indian agent Kulbhushan Jadhav in Balochistan. According to officials in Pakistan, Jadhav was arrested as he attempted to cross into the country's Balochistan province from Iran. After Jadhav's arrest, and during Iranian President Hassan Rouhani's visit to Pakistan, the former Director General of Inter-Services Public Relations, Lieutenant General Kasim shared the text of General Raheel Sharif's meeting with the Iranian President. There is one concern that RAW is involved in Pakistan, especially in Balochistan, and sometimes it also uses the soil of our brother country Iran. During the meeting with the Iranian President, Raheel reportedly asked Rouhani to tell them that they should stop these activities and allow Pakistan to achieve stability, according to a tweet by Bajwa. Pakistan became unhappy about Iran's growing ties with India. Secondly, Pakistan views Iran's Indian-operated Chabahar port project as a rival to Pakistan's Gwadar port development. Iran has made clear on several occasions that it's not meant to be a rival to Gwadar port, which lies just 72 kilometers away in the Pakistani province of Balochistan, but the port is seen within a context of broader regional competition for influence. We can cut and slice it in any way we want, but despite official denials, these two ports are rivals and are being developed as part of a broader regional competition for influence, said Alex Vatanka, author of Iran and Pakistan. Pakistan finds growing Indian interest in its neighbouring countries intolerable, viewing them as an Indian plot to encircle and isolate Pakistan regionally. Hence, Pakistan views Indian involvement in Chabahar as a threat. Due to simmering ties with India, Pakistan has flatly denied its neighbour any routes to further its interests in the region, particularly with Afghanistan and Central Asian countries. Meanwhile, Iran is well acquainted with China's ambitious plans, and it does not want Gwadar to be developed by China, the emerging power of Asia. For this reason, Iran sees it as in its own interests to reach out to India as a balance to China in Asia. According to South Asia analyst Michael Kugelman, Iran may have concerns about Gwadar from a geopolitical standpoint, given that Gwadar and the broader pattern of Chinese investment in Pakistan is a competitor to the Indian-led transport infrastructure project that centers around the port of Chabahar in Iran. Based on a scale and amount of investment, the Chinese investments in Pakistan are more formidable than India's in Iran. In this context, Iran-Pakistan relations were neatly summarized by Alex Vatanka, who observed that Iran and Pakistan have for decades failed to cooperate for better economic integration in the region, and have instead put their hopes in states such as India and China in the hope that each can gain the upper hand in West Asia and become the primary conduit to Afghanistan and Central Asia. But involving China and India has only exacerbated the zero-sum game mentality and deepened suspicions between Iran and Pakistan. Different Pakistani governments have also complicated Iranian-Pakistan relations. When the Pakistani People's Party held power, one former PPP minister mentioned that during the tenure of former President Asif Ali Zardari, meetings of civil and military leaders from both countries were commonplace. But in 2013, when Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif came to power, the attention to Iran fell away. Instead, Sharif's focus was very much on Saudi Arabia. This is not surprising. When Sharif was previously ousted from power by former military dictator General Pervez Musharraf, he was forced into exile in Saudi Arabia for a number of years, where he established strong business and family links. Later, following the election of Hassan Rouhani in May 2017, Rouhani showed considerable interest in trade with Pakistan, but although Iran and Pakistan did try to improve economic ties, the Saudi-Iran rivalry impeded their efforts on several occasions. On the one hand, Pakistan considers Iran a potential partner which can help overcome its dire energy needs, and on the other, it does not want to offend Saudi Arabia by getting too close to Tehran. Islamabad therefore is trying to balance things out by claiming it wants to bring the Sunni majority Saudi Arabia and the Shia Iran closer, but experts say it is a tightrope to walk which could also prove to be dangerous, wrote Shamil Shams in Dutch Well. In mid-March, Iranian Foreign Minister Mohammad Javad Zarif travelled to Islamabad for a 3-day visit, heading a 30-member Iranian delegation. During talks with Pakistan Prime Minister Shahid Khaqan Abbasi, Zarif pledged to increase bilateral trade between Iran and Pakistan from around $1 billion today to $5 billion by 2021. It will be interesting to see how Imran Khan handles Pakistan's relationship with Iran. Following his victory, Iranian President Rouhani has extended his congratulations to Imran Khan as Pakistan's new Prime Minister, expressing hope that the two countries would further improve relations during his tenure. But how this plays out remains to be seen. The interplay of geography and politics has had a deep impact on both Iran and Pakistan's security perceptions. Iran's main security interests lie in West Asia, especially in the Persian Gulf region, and secondarily on its northern and eastern sides, whereas Pakistan's principal security concerns revolve around India and secondarily Afghanistan. Any development either in the Persian Gulf or South Asia will affect both countries due to regional proximity. Iran's friendly or unfriendly attitude towards the Persian Gulf states, especially Saudi Arabia, will also have a direct impact on Iran-Pakistan relations. Likewise, Iran's relations with India will not go unnoticed by Pakistan. Iran-Pakistan relations are also constantly influenced by the US and its involvement in Pakistan. Pakistan until now has been a friend and ally of the US, whereas Iran has been its adversary. All in all, national security interests of both Iran and Pakistan and the influence of bigger powers including China, India and the US means that the relationship between Iran and Pakistan is likely to be determined by wider interests in the region. Thanks for watching another KJ video. We would love to hear your feedback and views in the comments below. We often take on board many of your comments to improve our videos. You can also support KJ Vids either by becoming a monthly Patreon or making a one-off donation on fundmypage.com. Your funds allow us to pay for quality research, licenses for music, pictures and videos, as well as video editing costs. With your support, we can remain financially independent, which allows us to present an unbiased view and a critical assessment of the actions and interests of world powers. The links to both of our crowdfunding pages are in the description. Finally, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and register for the alerts so you never miss our videos. Thanks again and see you next time.